what's the relationship, for lack of a better term, between you and Joe? Because when I read the back cover and what you did as attorney, helping businesses turn around, the dog, I said, wow, I wonder where Joe comes into your life.
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's a familiar question because before I answer that question, I want to digress one moment. I had all these book clubs across the country now by Skype, and they all have been just wonderful. I mean, I finished with, in the beginning I was worried that maybe it wouldn't work because maybe I wouldn't be able to hear the ladies and the men in the room. Maybe I wouldn't be able to see them. And the first Skype we did, a group out in California, and they were at 5:30, it was 8:30 my time, turned the switch, and I'm not the most competent guy technically, and I finally there's the screen, and there were 10 women, they all had wine glasses. Hi, Mr. Kaufman. I thought, wow, this is going to be fine. This is going to work out fine. But Joe's a hypothetical composite creation in my head. He's an ideal. When I wrote Joe, I wrote him to have unapologetic, inherent goodness. Now, today's novels, it's very important to be successful if the author makes his protagonist flawed in a number of ways. And the last thing in the world the reading public wants is a good guy. But I want a good guy. Not for me, but for us. Because I believe that we have enough writers writing why all lawyers are bad, all the doctors are in your back pocket for money, all the insurance companies corrupt. I mean, you go down the list of the popular fiction today, and it all is about what's wrong with everybody and how bad they are. And I wanted to say, I practice law, and I loved the practice of law. I loved every minute that I was a lawyer, and I loved every minute I was a judge, 14 years. And I loved when I ran a $900 million boating company in North America. I loved being a CEO. I liked being a chairman. I like doing it right now, and being the chairman of Imaging the World, because it's really doing good as well. I love all that stuff. But that's not bad stuff. That's good. It's good to let people know that Imaging the World is saving lives. 25% of the women, roughly, in Uganda at childbirth die. And with this ultrasound diagnostic, we can do a material advance to save their lives and the lives of the children. And so that's all good stuff. And what's wrong with saying that? That's why I worked it into the concealers with one line or two. Just because I think we have enough bad. Now, you can, obviously, fiction has to have conflict. And without it, we have nothing. So you want to have conflict. But we could still do it. Now, back to Joe. I think that if he were going to live on, you would see his flaws anyway. He had flaws. I suggested that he was too close to his men when he ran the submarine stuff, and that's why he wasn't promoted. I just didn't go overboard with dealing with it. I could have had him when Ashley was killed. He could have gone out and had a subplot to kill the kid that killed Ashley. But, that actually was an experience I had as an attorney. I had a client who was paralyzed, paraplegic, because of a random shooting. That really happened. And so these things happen, and I don't think we need to dwell on the bad side of it. So the things Joe did, the boating, I did all that stuff. The wilderness stuff in the Adirondacks, I've done that, all of it. The strategic turnaround plans, I wrote that from my own knowledge base. So all that stuff is clearly stuff I've done, and that's why I was able to write about it without researching it and still have it be, hopefully you would feel when you read it that it was real and it was true. If I were asked to speak to this group about a subject I don't know, and there are lots of them, I'd be a nervous wreck up here. I mean, I could never stand here and talk to you about what I don't know. I just have to talk about something I do know, or else I shouldn't be up here. So in that respect, Joe's similarities were there. However, there's a lot of things that Joe did on the other side that is not me. And it may be, I'd like to be as good as Joe was. I think if I lost my wife, I would have killed the other guy. I mean, I don't know that really, but I'm just saying he was an ideal. I mean, people you have to ask yourself how far you're willing to go with a commitment that you make, whether it's to somebody living or somebody not living. Does the commitment survive? And for whom are you making the commitment? Are you making it for yourself, or are you making it for the other person? I mean, the only reason Preston originally went along with fulfilling an unspecified commitment in the future is because he felt he didn't have any choice. And he thought, I don't like being boxed in, but maybe there's some wiggle room at the other end. Maybe I can figure out a way I'll do it. I'll say I'm going to do it. Well, is that enough? Or does it matter, and we'll get into book 3, whether he really has fulfilled his commitment? Does it matter to someone else, or does it matter to him? And those are the questions I think we have to ask ourselves. And that's why I started this conversation with, is the truth relevant today? And does the truth still matter today? I mean, all you have to do is watch television or read the news any day you want to pick, today included. And what do you see? And this isn't about politics. I'm not going to say a word about politics or parties or anything else, but just look at the totality of it and ask yourself, any concealment going on? You know, is everybody really being candid, straightforward? Is this what I feel? What do you feel? Are the people in conflict talking with one another honestly about, or are they politically leveraging their position so they can work it around and then get the right point and get what they want? I mean, these questions go on every single day. So I believe that the Concealers, I'd like to believe, is a very relevant novel right now. And therefore, I'm hopeful that when I get to book 3, I'll put this thing to bed in a way that will completely answer to the best of my ability all those inherent questions about what that arc is and what really matters in that regard.